Imagine the Battle of Hogwarts is over. Lord Voldemort is dead. The smoke is clearing and the survivors are beginning to cheer. But the cheering stops abruptly, because standing on the ruins of the Astronomy Tower isn't a hero. It's Severus Snape. He isn't bleeding. He isn't tired. He's holding the Elder Wand, and his black robes are billowing like a tidal wave of ink. He looks down at the crowd, and his voice carries across the grounds, colder and sharper than Voldemort's ever was.
The Dark Lord was a fool. He fought for blood and chaos. I fight for order. I fight for the future. You may have survived the war, but you will not survive the peace. Bow or break.
Wait, how did we get here? How did the bravest man Dumbledore ever knew become the greatest threat the wizarding world has ever seen? Today, we are exploring a timeline where the Half-Blood Prince decides that if you want a job done right, you have to do it yourself. We're looking at a world where Severus Snape doesn't die in the Shrieking Shack, but instead rises to become the new Dark Lord. Trust me, this is much more terrifying than Voldemort could ever be. The Prince of Shadows. What if Snape replaced Voldemort? Let's go back to that fateful night in the Shrieking Shack. Voldemort has just ordered Nagini to kill Snape. In our world, Snape dies. But in this timeline, Snape has been playing the long game for 20 years. He didn't just brew an anti-venom. He brewed a poison for the Dark Lord himself. As Voldemort turns his back to leave, thinking Snape is finished, Severus doesn't give Harry his memories. He doesn't look for Lily's eyes. Instead, he reaches out with a wandless curse he's been perfecting in the dark for a decade. He strikes. Imagine Voldemort, weakened by the destruction of his Horcruxes, collapsing as Snape stands up, wiping the blood from his neck. Snape doesn't just kill Voldemort. He absorbs his followers. He walks out of that shack, finds the Death Eaters, and shows them something Voldemort never had.
Voldemort treated you like cattle. I will treat you like soldiers. He wanted your fear. I want your excellence. He is gone. I am the prince. Who among you wishes to truly rule?
The Death Eaters, tired of being tortured by a madman, don't resist. They see a leader who is calm, calculated, and brilliant. By the time Harry Potter walks into the forest to sacrifice himself, the game has already changed. The war isn't between light and dark anymore. It's between Dumbledore's ghost and the man who learned everything Dumbledore knew. Now, let's talk about the siege. In the original story, the Death Eaters are a disorganized mob. Under Dark Lord Snape, they are a surgical strike team. Snape knows every secret passage in Hogwarts. He knows every ward, every protective charm, and every weakness of the staff. He doesn't send giants to smash the walls. He uses subtle, ancient magic to turn the castle's own defenses against the students. Imagine the horror in the Great Hall when the enchanted ceiling starts raining down fire, and the statues that were supposed to protect them suddenly turn their swords on the defenders. Snape walks through the front doors, not with a scream, but with a whisper. He confronts McGonagall and the others. But he doesn't use the killing curse. He uses psychological warfare. He reveals the secrets Dumbledore kept. He shows them that the light was just as manipulative as the dark.
You fight for a dead man's lies, Minerva. You protect children who are being raised like lambs for the slaughter. I offer them power. I offer them the truth that Albus was too afraid to tell.
Snape doesn't want to kill the students. He wants to recruit them. He starts with the Slytherins, of course, but he moves to the Ravenclaws, tempting them with forbidden knowledge. He moves to the Gryffindors, tempting them with the glory of a new order. By the end of the night, half the school has laid down their wands. Hogwarts hasn't fallen. It has been reorganized. This is where things get really interesting. Dark Lord Snape doesn't hide in a dark manor. He stays at Hogwarts. He makes it his capital. The wizarding world under Snape is a meritocracy. He doesn't care about pure blood. That was Voldemort's obsession. Snape cares about talent. He creates a world where if you are a brilliant Muggle-born, you are rewarded. But if you are a weak pureblood, you are discarded. This makes him incredibly popular with a segment of the population that Voldemort ignored. He builds a regime based on efficiency and cold, hard logic. But the cost is absolute surveillance. Snape is a master of legitimacy. Imagine a world where the Dark Lord can literally read your mind whenever he wants. There is no Order of the Phoenix, because Snape knows you're a traitor before you'd even buy the meeting supplies. Think about that for a second. Voldemort was a storm. You could hide from a storm. Snape is the air itself. You can't hide from the person who taught you how to breathe magic. He creates a secret police of prince's enforcers. They aren't masked thugs. They are elite potions masters and duelists. They don't use Crucio. They use potions that make you tell the truth while you feel your own mind dissolving. Snape's world is quiet. It is orderly. It is peaceful, but it is a peace born from the total death of privacy and free will. What about Harry Potter? In this world, Harry didn't die in the forest. Snape captured him, but Snape doesn't kill Harry. That would make him a martyr. No, Snape keeps Harry in a high-security cell in the dungeons. He visits him every day. Not to torture him, but to talk to him.
You still think in terms of heroes and villains, Harry. It is so very Gryffindor of you. Look at the world outside. No wars, no blood purity massacres. The Muggles are being managed. The wizards are being educated. I have achieved what Dumbledore was too weak to even dream of.
You've built a cage, Snape. Everyone is a prisoner.
A cage with food and safety is better than a battlefield with corpses and lies. You will see. Eventually, everyone sees.
The climax of our story happens years later. A grown-up Harry, broken but still burning with a spark of Lily's spirit, manages to lead a breakout. He isn't fighting for the Ministry or Dumbledore. He's fighting for the right to be human. The final duel takes place in the heart of London. It's not a battle of flashes and bangs. It's a battle of wills. Snape is so powerful now that he doesn't even need a wand. He's reshaping the environment around him, turning the very cobblestones into snakes and the rain into acid. Harry realizes the only way to beat Snape isn't through magic. It's through the one thing Snape can't calculate: sacrifice. Harry doesn't try to kill Snape. He tries to save him. He invokes the old magic of Lily's sacrifice, not to shield himself, but to force Snape to feel the guilt he's been burying for decades. Dark Lord Snape is a terrifying thought because he is the version of Voldemort that actually could have won. He was smart enough to hide his tracks, logical enough to win supporters, and powerful enough to enforce his will. But in the end, Snape's greatest enemy wasn't Harry Potter. It was himself. He spent his whole life being a spy, a double agent, a man of secrets. When you become the Dark Lord, you have no more secrets to keep. You are the secret. And that kind of loneliness is enough to break even the strongest mind. But I want to know what you think. Would you prefer a world ruled by Snape's cold order or the chaos of Voldemort's war? Do you think Snape was always capable of this darkness, or did the world just push him too far? Let me know in the comments. This was a mind-blowing request from one of our followers, and I'm curious to see your take on the Prince of Shadows. If you love this dark journey into the what-if of Severus Snape, hit that like button and subscribe to Omniva for more stories that turn the wizarding world upside down. I'm Omniva, and remember, the most dangerous kings are the ones who know exactly how it feels to be a servant.